talking about musicians and cool things and stuff. It's the Harley and Josh Show. It's live.
It's on radio.
We're doing stuff and you're listening to it. Welcome to the Harley and Josh Show, where this week we're going to be listening to some music by Joe G, GABODELemondaze, as well as talking about fake Spotify artists.
What?
As well as, is Facebook good for bands anymore?
Was it ever? Anyway, let's get it. We'll get that later.
So, how are you, sir?
I am very good, my friend.
I'm trying to lose my Suffolk accent at the moment.
Are you?
I've always got a, how you doing, boy? It's just, it makes me sound well.
It's too much hanging out with Rainer.
Yeah.
Take it off.
Yeah. Take it off the bingo card.
I realise I always do a West Country morning when I wake up in the morning and see whoever's in the house. Morning.
Morning.
Everything I do, I think it comes from Hot Fuzz.
Oh, okay.
Morning, Sergeant
Don't
Angle.
mean it's murder.
Morning, Angle.
A great big bushy beard. So yeah,
Another thing I say to my dad every morning.
right, yeah. So how have you been, sir?
I've been good, man. My week's has been
musical week.
I thought I was going to fairly musicless week. This is like I've had 2 weekends where I haven't been playing with Chart Attack, and it's really weird. The last weekend I realised was the first weekend that I didn't have a gig since October, and I was like, that's mad. Like, there was a time when I would gig every other week, and that was great, but the fact that I'm not gigging 2 weeks in a row, but also after playing every week constantly for so long, is just, it's mental. Yeah. And so it's been great. This week I did end up doing a couple of gigs.
You did,
kind of last minute. So my first one on Friday, I was playing with Joe G.
Yeah.
We'll play some of his music at the end of the section. It was a fairly last minute thrown together thing.
Who else was in the band with you on that one?
So I forget their last names.
Right, yeah, that's fine.
But it was Harry and Adam.
Right. Local guys?
Yes, yeah. They all knew Joe from back in the day when they used to play with Heartaker.
Okay.
Which is how I know Joe, I think, from back when we did Suffolk Soundwaves.
Right.
They were on the same roster as us. I think it was the year after you guys did it.
Yeah. Won it.
All right. We didn't.
Shout out Stratusfire and Mikey.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. So I kind of knew those guys tangentially. Joe used to live with Oscar from Chart Attack and Bang.
Okay.
When they lived in London, they studied together. So they were on. That's how Joe got the gig because Bang were headlining. And if we had our first rehearsal, the day of the show, and kind of worked our way through it, and it went really well. We made a few mistakes, but
nobody would notice.
They were the sort of mistakes that we missed a cue, so we just went round again and then came back in sort of later on, and some dynamic changes that we didn't quite hit. But
are they quite pro, the guys that you were playing with then?
Yeah, really pro, really good, really professional. With the time that we had, we'd all kind of done we were talking about how we'd been learning the songs, and they were all in exactly the same boat of they just had their headphones on when they were going places, just listened to the songs on repeat, and then sat down a couple of times just to go through them and go, right, here we go. And most of the sort of, I say, mistakes that we'd made were bits that we'd changed from the recordings to sort of add dynamics where we didn't have a full entree of musicians, Entree. I don't know if that's the right word there.
Sure.
Yeah, it is now.
It's a starter.
So that was a great show. There were 6 bands playing that night.
That was mad, isn't it?
So there was Adelia.
Yes. She's solo.
She was solo. She was with a guitarist. She had Steve Mortimer from Remedy on guitar.
Oh, nice.
And he was sort of looping some stuff, and they did some really cool arrangements and quite complex songs. I don't know how he was doing it with a loop station, but he was doing it really well.
Right, yeah, she's talented. She's got a nice voice.
Yeah, great voice. There was Emily Gray who did a solo set.
Yeah.
And she did awesome. She did a big old Queen medley.
Nice.
Went through it. It was really cool.
She's been much more active lately, which is good to see, because a lot of the time, a while back, you mostly see her behind the bar.
Yeah.
But now she's
a bit more.
Yeah. And that's it. What happened with Bessie Turner? A lot of time she spent a lot of time behind the bar, and now she's out there.
Which is
Get
great.
Well soon, Bessie. She's in hospital.
Yeah. That's a shame that.
Anyway, sorry. The rest of the lineup.
So there was her, and then we played after us with Strike the Sun, friends of the show. They did a great set. You were saying about singer whose name I forget.
Yeah, we should remember that, shouldn't we? Oh my goodness.
I've got a last name.
Yeah, okay, good.
But Brett.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so she, you worked whilst I talked. She was putting on a hell of a show. It was great because you said how mad she is on the stage. Like
Louise
Brett. That's it.
I was about to say Lucy, but I knew I'd get it wrong.
Yeah. She, like, it was a little bit early in the night, so people were a little bit scared to come to the front of the stage, but she was still throwing the shapes and drawing people in.
Yeah.
It was great. It was quite cool because Josh Faulkner, bass player, I've kind of been talking to him online for a few years now, where we kind of spoke about various things and nerding off about bass stuff and studio stuff, because he's quite a studio guy as well. Yeah. And we met for the first time. It was great.
Has he always been in Strike the Sun?
I don't know if he has. I think
he might have just joined recently.
I think he's in the last kind of year, maybe two. Yeah.
Is Craig Shimon drumming for them?
Craig's on drums, yes. And I don't know the guitarist.
World Apart years
World
ago.
Apart, Sleeper Cell?
No.
Dear Sleeper.
That's
it.
That's
the one.
We go. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so they put on a great show. Reno and Rome, they were... I don't know what they were on point. They said they were co-headlining because there was a bit of conversation of who should be headlining.
Right, yeah.
And they decided Bang would headline, which I think is fair because being the new band in town, and it was great. But Reno Rome, awesome set. They had everyone pumping, everyone at the front. It was great. Underline Sky lot were there, absolutely really getting into it because they're good friends with Nick.
Yeah, of course.
But just a really good tight performance.
Yeah. They are so just well-oiled. They're just a machine, aren't they?
But talking about well-oiled machine, and you may need to get to their next gig.
Sorry, what?
No, just well-oiled,
Okay.
not a machine. But Bang were incredible.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Like, they are so incredibly tight. They're two guitarists, Oscar Charlton on the right, Harry Hayward on the left, and they were doing some really cool stuff, but you could always hear both guitars.
Okay.
There was never, like, playing the same thing, and it was just layered so well.
They're doing that sort of Wolfpack, Fearless Flyers, kind of compressed, a lot of sort of back and forth
that
together,
kind of playing small bits that just really come up, but they had some really rocky stuff as well. It was just an amazing show. Every musician just playing awesome. The thing that really did upset me though is I feel it went on a bit late. I think that's kind of the main contributing factor because Bang didn't start till I think like 11:45.
Crikey.
And after Reno and Rome, a lot of people left.
Oh, you're joking.
And I think I was a bit sort of upset, and I felt bad for them because anyone who was there for Reno and Rome would have absolutely loved Bang.
Yeah.
But either it got too late and they kind of had to go, or didn't realise that there was another band on because, they went...
Reno and Rome are quite headlining kind of...
Yeah.
So,
and that may have been the other way around. If Reno and Rome were to headline, it could have potentially meant a bigger crowd for Bang, but they're definitely going to come back, and I'm going to be plugging as much as I can because I think they deserve as many people watching them and just seeing how amazing they are, like super like happy, like poppy music, but ridiculously musical.
Yeah, I think there is a big call for that nowadays of like well done pop. Like talented stuff, because there is a lot of stuff that people kind of seem to think that you can just write a good pop song in your bedroom and get it out there and it will do well, which can happen, but it's so much more impressive when you've got a group of very talented, well-oiled musicians, and that work together and they hone their craft rather than just getting a drum machine.
Talking well-oiled musicians, we'll be releasing the Harley and Josh show calendar on our website.
Just going to Photoshop our faces on a fireman. That's it.
Yeah.
Good.
If you would be interested in that, please let us know.
Yeah. How oiled should we be?
Yeah.
Actually, if you're an oiled fireman, I think that's an occupational hazard, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
that's asking for trouble.
You put propane on me.
Is Vaseline?
Glistens better.
Never mind. That was my Friday, which was really cool.
Nice.
I found myself with a free evening on Saturday, so I decided to head over to the Three Wise Monkeys.
Oh, great! Ipswich.
In Ipswich to see Caswell and Gemma and the Nightjars.
Yes.
I got there quite late, so I missed Gemma and the Nightjars, which I was annoyed at because I really wanted to see them.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of time for Gemma. I think she's a great, confident frontman.
Nice. woman, person.
Front person. And I was really hoping to see that, but unfortunately not. But I saw Caswell, and you've hyped her up quite a lot, and she lived up to that hype. Yeah. There was a really good audience of people there singing along with her songs, which is great for original music in a new venue, in a young venue. Yeah. But someone pulling a crowd.
So Merlin was
and it was just a really good show, really good. A lot of people there, good friends of mine, friends of ours. Angel was there. Dan Harvey was there. It was really just a really nice atmosphere, and I was happy to have sort of made along to that.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, that's the great thing about having a little bit more of a dedicated space for it happening around. And last week was Independent Music Venue Week, so just having a lot of people out each night of the week using Ipswich as like a little festival.
Definitely.
Most of it's here at the Smokehouse, which there was some great gigs on last week at the Smokehouse, which we talked about. Just having that kind of like pub crawl, but throughout a week. I bet there's some people hurting today.
Definitely.
Yeah, been to 8 gigs.
Well, I even made it to a gig on Sunday, which I was actually working at doing the sound. This was a much more relaxed, but it blew me away. I saw a band called a folk duo called Symbio.
Right. Okay.
Here's their card.
I did see that that advertised actually.
Yes, this was at the Froys, part of Folk at the Froys, which Lucy and John Hart sort of help organise. And yes, David at the Froys gets some really great acts, and this was just incredible. So you had, I'm going to need the card because to pronounce their names is they're from Sweden,
Scandinavian. Right, okay, yeah.
So Johannes on hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy. What's a hurdy-gurdy again?
It is like a violin that Da Vinci drew.
we were trying weird little wings.
Yeah, it looked
anatomy.
It looks like something that's come out of D&D.
Awesome. I saw the picture actually. I did see the picture that the Froys posted up about it because they were saying how good it was.
It has 21 strings, a wheel.
A wheel. Right.
Buttons has keys, and it's kind of like it's. If the violin was just...
So is it bowed?
Well, the bow is the wheel. The wheel vibrates the strings.
Yeah.
And it just creates the most amazing sound.
So you say they're Swedish?
Yes.
Is the hurdy-gurdy Swedish?
No, it's a medieval instrument.
Right.
After the show, we sat with the guys, Johannes and Lars Emil on accordion, and they kind of gave us kind of a bit of a history of the instrument. It was great. We sat down, so it was...
Picture of it here. It looks weird.
Yeah, and there's different ones as well.
Yeah.
So this, after it was me, Lucy, Matt Bayfield was there watching the show. It's him and Kelly Bayfield, as well as many other folk fans and musicians were sitting around, and he was sitting there playing on it. Of course, I put my hand up. Can you play "Smoke on the Water"? I got a video of it. It's incredible.
Please post that up on the page.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. It says it originated from fiddles in either Europe or the Middle East. Either the rebab instrument, sometime before the 11th century AD.
Yeah.
So that's what, 600 years old?
Yeah. It's
700 years old or something?
It's quite advanced for the sort of thing it is. There's so much going on, and like he was saying that it's a so and so to tune, because there's so much tension in such a small thing that it's very very sensitive to temperature and stuff like that.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
But the sounds they were making were incredible. So that hurdy-gurdy had 5 microphones on it.
So fun to say.
Yeah.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Sound like the Swedish chef.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to offend them.
Ooh, yes, good point.
So they were incredible. Got 5 mics on that hurdy-gurdy.
Wow.
And it was going into a Strymon Big Sky reverb.
Ooh, wow.
And a mixer to mix all the different levels, because there's 3 sets of strings. So you've got your melody, you've got your bass drone, you've got your high drone.
3 sets of 7.
I don't know. There's a 4, there's a 3,
right.
And then there's like 7 sympathetic strings as well.
Okay, yeah, sort of working as overtones kind of thing. Nice.
And so you had 8 microphones inside the accordion, that were sort of, and he had split it out, so I had a bass side and a treble side.
Wow.
And they both, like, I had the easiest job, really. Because I said, what do you guys need? What mics do you need? He's like, four XLRs, that'll do. And he had a kick pedal thing.
Crazy.
And they were making almost like dance music.
Amazing.
With this. Because the range of sounds and pads, like, there were points, afterwards we were talking, saying, like, yeah, there's bits where it could have been like an Avicii tune, you know. It could have. I was like, there was a part where I swear they played an Enchikari like pad line, you know, and there was just so much going on there. I would play some of the stuff, but I didn't have time to sort of put it in the system. But please do check out Symbio if you have a chance, and I'm sure there's loads of videos of them playing on YouTube, because the audio doesn't necessarily do it justice. When I listened to the stuff beforehand, I was like, I was thinking there was going to be 3 or 4 of them.
Right, yeah.
You know, there were guest instruments and stuff like that. No, it's like the hurdy-gurdy can make 3 or 4 different sounds at once. It's mental.
That's so cool.
And it blew my mind. And
Talented
such lovely guys. So I'm really looking forward to them coming back.
Are they on iTunes and stuff?
They're on iTunes. They're on Spotify. They're on YouTube. On all the necessary platforms.
You've got to share that. We'll share it on the page of Smoke on the Water from Hurdy-Gurdy.
Definitely. We'll put that up on our page this afternoon.
Purple, herp derple.
Deep hurdy-gurdy.
Deep hurdy-gurdy, smoking the birdie. Right. So let's play some music then, Ad. So this is one of the tracks you would have played last Friday with
Joe G. Yeah, this is a song called Stay. This is one that we really worked. Most of the songs we played for in rehearsal like once or twice, but we really wanted to work on this to get it right.
Nice.
Because it had a really nice sound, and it was probably the one that went down the best because it had a really nice tight sound. So,
good. Show us.
Cool.
This is Stay by Joe G.
I'm waiting for you. If it takes a while, know that I'm going nowhere.
There we go. That was Joe G with Stay.
Yeah, nice. So that was so you played bass on that one. That was good. So that's available on the old iTunes and etc. and on Spotify and Apple Music, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yep.
Cool. So you can check that out. Nice one. So yeah, I had some things that I did make. Gonna tell you all about it. What did I do? Coming down. So yeah, well, most of it was teaching last week. It was great because I'm just sort of seeing a lot more progress from some students that I've had for a couple months.
Cool.
That used to be like, nah, I can't do it, my fingers hurt, and now they're kind of getting the blisters, and then they're healing up, and now they're like, oh, it doesn't hurt anymore. There's a really strange thing because I always like because of safeguarding and things like this. It's very frowned upon that you actually come into physical contact with your student. So like there's points when I'm sort of like I've got my finger right over where they're supposed to be putting their finger on the fretboard, but touching them is not weird. So I want to say to them, like, look at the ends of my fingers, like I feel nothing anymore. Because I mean, you're the same as a bass player. The most like the tips of your fingers, you can feel nothing, and they just like hard as rocks.
Yeah.
And just grip as well that you just got to have. So yeah, I've just sort of like just look at it, trust me, it's gross.
I do the whole nail, you stick the nail in it and then the line stays there.
Yeah, exactly, for like ages. But yeah, so it's been really nice to watch a bit of that. Funny little musical story. My wonderful girlfriend, she works her buttocks off as a PT, Frankie, PT with Frankie. She's all over Facebook. But so mornings sometimes can suck because she'll get back from training people at about 11 or 12 sometimes.
Yeah.
But in the morning she'll have to be up and doing stuff.
Training someone else.
Yeah, exactly. But like, so a lot of the time I'll get out of bed and she'll still be there and she'll be like, no, I'm not moving. So I'll just be like, get up, you gotta get up, you gotta go do some stuff. She wasn't getting up. So I went downstairs and her surname is Robinson. So I just cranked out Mrs. Robinson on repeat downstairs, and I just go cheer, Frankie Robinson. Jesus loves you more. Whoa. Hey. She was just like, how many times have we played that this morning? It was 12 times before she got out of bed.
I like that idea.
Full blast. Yeah, she loved me for it. She doesn't. She's left me. So got her out of bed. It was great, and I was just doing some more research for what we're talking about today, and also the songs. Last Saturday was the only gig that we had last weekend, and it was great. So I was talking about it before. It was titled "The Day the Music Lived," and it was a big celebration of Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens, because it was 60 years ago on the night of 2nd of February that they died in a plane crash. So we replicated the entire set that they did on that night. So we did the same songs that they would have played in the same order. So we did some Dion, then we did some Richie Valens, then we did the Big Bopper, then we did Buddy Holly. The Buddy Holly stuff was like the whole second set, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was at the Whitton Public Hall, and I hadn't played there for years. Because I played there with Who's Driving Bears Driving. It's a lovely venue. Lovely venue. I mean, if you imagine, I'm trying to imagine how to describe it. Have you ever played at Ipswich School? There's a hall there. It's kind of like
I saw a picture of it yesterday.
Yeah,
I've got a wedding there in July.
Well, there you go. So. It's that mid to large size hall, high ceilings, proper stage, and a good dance floor. And it was, I played there with Who's Driving Bears Driving, and funnily enough, I was trying to think of this earlier. Joe G, his voice sounds a lot like a band called Midgar that I saw years ago. They're from Essex, but they supported Arcane Roots.
Yeah,
I love that band, Midgar. If you can check them out, I don't think they're going anymore, but they're really cool. But yeah, so we played there with them years ago, and I've forgotten what it looked like. And then coming back to it, it was just all the memories rushed back in. But they really nice, easy load in, because the fire exit is just right next to the stage. We had a DJ called Maurice's Rockin' Machine who was doing loads of old classic 50s stuff.
Oh, nice.
Some of it on CD, some of it on vinyl. Very cool. Had people dancing the whole night. But it was, a real rockabilly event. So everybody dressed up, hair done to the nines, everybody looking great. So yeah, we had most dances all night. People proper jiving, really throwing each other about and really having a good time. We
That's
had a really
awesome.
Nice, a nice reaction from the crowd, and they were actually quite appreciative that we'd learnt all the songs from that before, from the original set list, which we'd had 2 weeks of practicing it all. We went to the audio lab in Ipswich. Been there? Stan from the
downstairs. Of course, I was there when you were there.
Oh, of course you were. You had to drop off some lightning stands, didn't you? Yeah. So, that's a great little practice room. If anybody hasn't used that place yet, nice and cheap. It's 25 quid. Normal kind of practice room price. You get PA, drums, amps, bass amp. Everything's there. Mics are all there.
Ready to rock.
Yeah, exactly. All ready to rock. And you can make tea. Big deal. So we'd practiced all for 2 weeks, just getting these songs down, and I'd just been listening to them over and over again. Some of them are awful. Some of the songs, the Big Bopper tracks would not hold up.
Yeah.
In today's thing, there was one called just Big Bopper's Wedding, which he's just talking about how ugly his new wife is. It's like, I don't think you better release that in 21st century, dude. And also there was another one where it was just like, it was all about an alien who made friends with a witch doctor. He was called the Purple People Eater. And just in the middle of it, he was just like, walking down the field, down the hedge, I heard the strangest sound.
Hurdy-gurdy-gurdy.
And then, but in the middle of it, there's a guitar solo, but it's just, they've pitched it up. And this is in the 50s, They've pitched it up somehow, like spread the tape up and just recorded somebody doing a guitar solo. So it just sounds like... And then they've pitched up Big Bopper singing the Witch Doctor song. So he's going... So I had to do that live somehow, and it was just the weirdest thing. But some of it we're going to use in the set again. There was a song called Brown Hide a Handsome Man, which was awesome. There's a couple of Richie Valens tracks that we and also a Dion track called Ruby Baby, which I want to chuck in the set every once in a while.
Nice.
There was one thing that let the night down though, was just right near the end, right at the end of our, because they said, we did an encore, and they said, please play your own songs as the encore, because we were trying to save some CDs to raise money for Mikey for the funeral and his family and stuff, and it was all called The Day the Music Lived. So they were trying to say that the music is carrying on 60 years later, and there's bands like us that are still doing it and carrying the torch. And I'm doing this whole thing when I break the band down. I'm like, guys, bring it down. I'm going to talk to the audience and introduce the band. When the music's still going. And this big fat douche walks up to me at up to the stage in this little Stetson. Stetsons aren't cool. No, they are cool. If they're worn by Rob Lewis, they are. But
He's listening
big
in.
Fat douche walks up and I'm like, all right, he's got a request or something like this. I bend down to look at him. He's like, are you going to play another guitar solo that nobody hears? Stupid, useless. Walks off. And I'm just like, in the middle of addressing the crowd, everybody's looking at me, so I just had to go, all right, mate, chill out.
Chill out.
Yeah, chill out. And at the end, I was fuming because he's just come up and sometimes the rockabilly crowd can be a bit pedantic. They'll just be like, this isn't real rockabilly. Whereas if people are enjoying it, who cares, mate? Yeah. I think he just didn't like the fact that I was doing a solo that he didn't like or something.
If it's that your guitar's not loud enough, I'd be so annoyed that someone waits till the last song to tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And I went off. So after that, I'm fuming on the stage. I'm like, thank you very much. I try, holding it together. Yeah. I'm walking around to the band, just swearing, just going, who is this bloke? And so I walk off the stage. I go to where he was standing. He looks at me, just walks immediately straight out the door, gets his coat on, gets his bag, and leaves. I'm just like, big guts on you, aren't you?
Yeah.
You'll come and see if you can, you'll say your piece to me when I can't have a comeback because it's a family event.
Yeah.
And there's people watching me. But as soon as I actually come up to talk to you, he leaves. Just runs away like a little scaredy little wabbit.
Nah, that's not cool, man.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated it. It was just like the rest of the night had done really well. But then just get that from him. But anyway, you just take the rough with the smooth, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good... I was hoping to make it... I did try and make it long. It was a bit of a last-minute decision. I messaged Rand. I was like, where is your gig tonight?
Yeah, it's in Whittam, yeah.
And he was like, it's in Whittam. It's in 45 minutes. I'm like, well, that's an hour's drive. I will not make it. So I was like, probably just go see Caswell instead.
No, it was a good gig. I'm happy to do it, and they raised all the money they needed to for the event. So
that's cool.
Nice on them.
And it'll be cool to see you play some of those songs in your next set.
Yeah, I think we're going to recreate it sometime.
That'll be cool
and see what happens. But yeah, nice one. All right, I'm going to play some music because we've got to run out of time. This is a band that's playing locally. If you stick around for the gig list, this is a band called Abode from Colchester. This is called The Manipulator. Riff. Yeah, that is Abode with The Manipulator. You can check them out this weekend. Stick around for the gig list to find out. So, give me a jingle, boy. Give me that jingle. Music news. Here we go with music news. Just it sounds like monkeys playing trumpets. So, we have, I found this out from Music Business Worldwide. It's been nearly 2 years since there's been a global conversation over fake artists on Spotify, right?
I've only recently heard about this.
Mad, isn't it?
It's
so we
ridiculous.
talked about this a little bit before, but it's multiple Spotify users have been complaining that either their official listening history on Spotify appears to have been infiltrated, or somebody's kind of hacked them, and that there are acts on there they just don't recognize in their sort of history.
Right. Yeah.
So the trend was spotted by the BBC, which reported on Friday, January 25th, that plays of mystery tracks from artists such as, what's this called? Bergenulo 5, Brat Knight, DJ Brewage, and Dublin Knight were being credited with individual Spotify user accounts, despite these same users knowing nothing about this music.
Right.
So
yeah.
you sort of look back through your... So that'd be an interesting thing. Look into your Spotify history and see if there's stuff that comes up that you didn't know about.
I don't know how to do this, but I want to do that this evening, I think.
Because somebody might have done it. Because apart from being musically unremarkable, they generally have a few things in common. Short songs with few or no lyrics, illustrated with generic cover art kind of stuff, and short, non-descriptive song titles.
Yeah.
So some of whom had managed to rack up tens of thousands of plays. So albums from these artists contain more than 40 songs apiece.
Wow.
Right, with each track just about a minute or two in duration.
One would assume that that's the minimum amount of time to
Yeah.
get the full credits for a play and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's like they're almost farming.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
You're right. So after the BBC they've alerted Spotify of this, and all of these artists have disappeared from the platform entirely. However, like those artists will go down, but there'll be more coming on.
Yeah, it's just going to be replaced.
So a lot of people are sort of accrediting this too, because I mean, last year, about all the whole Cambridge Analytica thing. So it was up to 50 million Facebook accounts were left exposed due to cybersecurity lapse. And that was September. It notes which potentially enabled a third party to get hold of access tokens linked to Spotify user profiles. The logic here makes sense because the fake plays reported by the BBC took place from October 2018 onwards. Right. But this has been happening before.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people, they log into their Spotify via Facebook because it's an easy way of logging in.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's probably where that link comes from, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, but it has been happening. I think Music Business Week picked stuff was about March the year before. March last year. Sorry, and they were having fake streams on there. And it brings back to this sort of another kind of scam that happened a while back. It was called the Bulgarian scam. I don't know why. Probably because people came from Bulgaria at that time. I don't know. Which involved a party uploading music to Spotify before purchasing thousands of paid premium accounts and and rinsing plays of their music till they saw a return. Basically,
right, yeah.
So it's estimated that the return ended up at over $1 million before Spotify pulled the tracks from their platform.
Are you familiar with the Wolfpack Spotify lawsuit?
You've told me about this. Yeah, they put loads of sort of like very short songs on there, right?
They released, when they first started out, they released an album which was 24, I think it was 24 tracks with 24 seconds of silence. Because at the time, it needs 24 seconds to count as a play.
Right, yeah.
So what Wolfpack was doing were playing, they were, at every gig, they went, we need an album, we want to be able to fund this. So if you go to Spotify, play this album on repeat when you go to bed, because it will be silent, you won't hear it, but it will just be playing on loop, and we'll get all the royalties for it. They racked up something like £50,000 worth of royalties, because this is when they were a popular band touring. I mean, they still are, they're more so than ever, but they were touring, they were getting lots of gigs, and people were going, that's a really cool idea.
Use it now.
And if you had 10 people from every show doing that over the space of a month, and it racked up. And
but Spotify were dodgy with it, right?
Well, Spotify were quite annoyed and went, no, we're not paying you for that because you haven't actually made any music.
Right.
And it went to court, and there was a whole kind of thing of, well, what is silence? Who writes silence? And
there was a whole hurdy-gurdy.
There was a whole hurdy-gurdy about it. And, it was... They eventually settled out of court for something like $20,000.
Right.
Which paid for Wolfpack's first album. I think it was their first album. Might have even been like their second or something. And we're all better for it. So
they
thank you.
Release lots of sort of singles on every once in a while, don't they? But yeah, no, it does sort of blur the line as to what these streaming services are for. Are we using them as a music discovery device, or is it just a new money farming thing for the music industry? It has really saved the music industry, in recent years.
Yeah,
because of how much people want things to be very accessible and for ease of use. Having this stuff that you can link to your Sonos and having these different speaker, having a matrix around your house is great. But then, you sit there and think, okay, so they're obviously, because the amount of music that's uploaded to Spotify every day, there's not somebody checking to say, all right, is this legitimate music? So I don't know. Does that mean that Spotify then has to employ somebody to listen, or people to listen to each track that gets uploaded to see if that's definitely something legitimate, that it's not just trying to farm people's plays?
Yeah, I think they need to be transparent about it and speak up and say, look, this sort of thing is happening. If you notice this kind of activity, report it.
I mean, if you're listening into this, check your Spotify history, see if that's happening.
I'm going to do some research and find out how to do that, and I'll post up on our page on how that can be done, because
definitely.
I don't know how to do that, and I'm sure a lot of people don't.
Because it will affect what you're listening to as well, because Spotify will create an algorithm for you based on your listening history, and if you're listening to these random artists that you don't even know or like, or even if, you know, they just put it in your history, you didn't actually play it, then... You know, which
will probably be more confusing for me, because one of my favourite albums is the dial-up tone.
Oh yeah. So yeah, amazing. Please check that out, guys, because I don't know, you know, we could be seeing a lot of our music tastes going the Rick and Morty way. So oh, human music. There we go into the next section. Thing I found report about this morning. Jingle. So you
we'll all three of us will do it eventually. When I say three of us, two of you.
Oh right, yeah. God, that's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you alerted me to this yesterday, I believe.
I did, yeah.
It was a post by Dennis Tuning. Who's that guy?
It came up on a Reddit feed that I was following on the music news.
You love Reddit, don't you? Funny how it's something on Reddit on a different social media platform asking, is Facebook dead?
Yeah.
I'll read his status ad hoc. Is Facebook dead as a way for bands to make it? It was all in capitals. Facebook now limits how many of your friends and followers see your posts. Less than 2% of your supporters will ever see your posts, and most likely it will be the same handful of people each time. This drops your ability to grow your fan base. To reach even 200 fans, you would need 10,000 followers, and of those 200 reached, maybe 25 might react. Sure, you can spend money to boost, but to what end if that results remains the same? My challenge to you is to name one band or singer who made it because of Facebook in 2018. That was in capitals. Other comments on the subject are encouraged. If I'm wrong, tell me why. If you do significantly better, share your success and how you do it. Please share this post, especially if you're fed up. I don't know. I mean, this guy sounds a bit butthurt. He
does, but I think I get what he's saying. Facebook is not good for music.
I don't know where he got those statistics from. 2% of the thing. I mean, I think it's more than that, but I do see that. You know, there'll be a lot of the time if I do post something up, it will mostly be the same people, you know, interacting with it. You know, which you get your core fan base, but that's the same outside of the digital world. Most of the time, you'll have a core fan base that are early adopters of all your products, and they'll turn up to a gig and they'll buy the album first. And you know, there'll be other people that flit in and out.
Yeah, I do say, however, I'm sure I've said this before. No other social media platform has got music like MySpace did.
Right, yeah.
MySpace was a social media platform, but then it also allowed you to have music. It allowed you to post your music straight onto the website, upload it, so people can listen to it, they can hear what you're about, it's right there ready to go. Facebook doesn't actually have a music player, and I'm surprised it doesn't.
I got onto Facebook and I was just like, really? You can't get into the HTML and do your own little sort of profile, and you can't get some music on there? It looks really boring, unless they'll never catch on, but then obviously it did. But I don't know, I think it's just because people are getting too lazy with their promo nowadays, and they think that if you put out a post and put an invite out to people will definitely turn up. And when they don't get the interaction that they want, they think it's Facebook's fault. But I get quite a lot of interaction on my posts. It's because I am regular on it.
You're very good at it.
Well, I don't know about good about it. I've just looked into it,
You're
and
much
I know
better at it than I am.
Well, yeah. But the you know, if you look into what the best times are to post, it's a tool. You use the tool the way it's supposed to be used. You find out, you know, its strengths and its weaknesses. And if you're just using Facebook to just promote your music and you're not interacting with people, you know, asking questions, or, you know, giving people a diverse amount of content that you're putting out there, then of course you're just not going to be getting stuff, and it's going to be the same people coming back to you. It's the same as the real world.
Yeah.
Well, I say it's the real world, it is the real world, but you know, the tangible world, if you go out there and you just say that I've got a gig on, and you don't talk about anything else to people, then people are going to be very disinterested in what you do.
One thing that we're talking about with Chart Attack is we want to try and get gigs outside of Ipswich, because
hard, isn't it?
It's hard, but then it's also obvious that that's the next step, because we're just going to be playing to the same people localised in this area.
Yeah.
If we go to Cambridge, Norwich, Colchester, Whittam, places outside of Ipswich, then people go, I've not seen you before, but now I know who you are, then there's more people able to talk about us.
Yeah. But that doesn't sort of quite... We haven't really, addressed the algorithm problem. So that maybe like 2% of people, are seeing your posts and stuff like that. And Facebook has started to limit that because...
I think they've been doing it a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it's because of the Cambridge Analytica thing we talked about before with all the hacking scandal and how so many businesses are now farming our data to, I don't know how much, but I think we've been kind of fine with that for a while, haven't we? We've been sitting there going, oh, I like privacy, but I'm still going to put pictures of me up as a child up online. No, we're not private anymore. Everybody knows what we're doing, and companies are using that data. But because more and more people are knowing about that now and are kind of shocked about it, Facebook has now moved towards it being more of a family and friends sharing platform rather than a business thing for Facebook Pages. The Facebook Pages app has been awful for a long time.
Yeah, I do think it is very much you pay your way in Facebook.
Yeah,
and
but
I
even
think
the boosted posts, I mean, unless you're putting hundreds in.
Do you want a bit of an insight? We
Insights.
Insight. Yeah, we boosted a post with Chart Attack. Now, so we got a organic reach of 1,700,
right.
Paid reach of 3,000,
Right.
Post clicks 324.
Right.
We had one comment.
Right.
That's a cool song, and I like they music, and that is true. Have top morning, and your family are welcome. Be
bot. That is a bot.
Is it?
That is a bot.
Yep. We had how many messages did we get? We got a few messages, all from people just going, I really like that song. I used to play that song in a band.
Oh, nice. But is that just...
So we got no inquiries out of it. Actually, no, we did get one inquiry going, we'd like to book you, but we're in Leicester. Is that too far? And we were like, no, it's not. It's fine.
No,
we'll make it happen.
Oh, that's good.
But
then when you actually add on...
But for the time of the year that we posted, it didn't really come up crops as much as it could have done. Mm-hmm. And it's not like... I don't think our promo suffered. I think we were doing all right. I think the promo was good, but I just don't think Facebook is getting to the right sort of people anymore. And I think we need to sort of... we were talking at the music forum meeting a lot about people going, oh, I only advertise through Facebook. Don't do that. Get some posters. Because not everyone's on Facebook.
No, exactly.
Some people,
Well, nowadays, the reason why we should bring this up is the fact of if you want to reach a certain generation, Facebook is probably not the one for you.
No.
It's mostly in the people in the late 20s upwards now.
Yeah.
It used, sort of the millennials and Generation Zs used to be Instagram.
Yeah.
But now that the general age demographic for that is now rising, and that is now getting much more populated by bots and fake accounts. So now it's YouTube. YouTube is just the behemoth now. So I don't know. I think what we're going to have to work a lot harder now of growing a good YouTube subscriber list, and actually getting good at making videos. And I think that's quite a good thing because it really will separate the good social media users with the bad ones. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see, eh?
Survival of the fittest.
So, survival of the vidist. Brilliant.
Oh, I like that.
Let us know what you guys think. Let's get on to... Oh, hold on. Just before we do the gig list, I want to... That's what I was trying to look for a second ago. Just to go quickly back through the user comments on our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
The people asking what we should talk about this week. And obviously... we had some great suggestions. Lynn Beale has been on there. She was saying she was listening to the show, so thank you very much. But she has recommended we talk about the Mayor's Ball. JS and the Lockabillies, we are playing the Mayor's Ball at the Corn Exchange on the 30th of March. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Nice.
I'll talk more about that once we get closer to it. Let's think about the game, though, because the game this week...
The one you just lost.
Oh, damn. I can't find the game. So the game was naming a song with a flower in the title. So I put Build Me Up by Buttercup by the Foundations. And obviously Rob Lewis went in.
Two Lips.
As per usual. Two Lips by Hoodie Allen. That's a good one. This'll Be My Year by Train. Very good. New Rose by The Damned, Gareth Patch. I love that song.
Tim Hadley, Black Rose by Thin Lizzy. Good shout. Love it.
Some people put some stuff on there that are like, like we're supposed to understand what the lyrics were. But yeah, that was good from Andrew Prentice. Big Log by Robert Plant.
Ah.
Yeah. Plant.
Lily the Pink.
Lily the Pink. There we go. What else we got? Dead Flowers, Rolling Stones. Yeah. Yankee Rose, David Lee Roth. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yeah. See, I don't understand. Melissa Hammond put Still Remains and Stone Temple Pilots, and I'm like, which songs? I couldn't see any.
Although she did come up with Sunflower by Paul Weller. Great song.
Oh, that's a good tune.
Yeah.
I think English Rose. That's a good one. Magnolia by JJ Cale. Very good from Tim Hadley there. But yeah, so thanks for getting involved with that one again, guys. We love having the games every week, every Saturday. We do the games. So tune in for that one. Now it's time for Black. Yeah. So time for some cool stuff. Tonight I'm playing in Stowmarket.
Oh wow!
Chinese checkers for Chinese New Year. That's thanks to Kezia and her family, because they are having a big Chinese New Year get together.
Did you do that last year?
Yes, we did with Tom McCarthy. But
he did indeed. Yeah.
The guitar-thy cannot make it tonight because he's doing Rock Project.
He is indeed.
And
yes.
if two of us were off, then I'd be a bit mad. So the rest of it, there's a lot going on this week, so I'm going to go rocket through it. February the 8th, this is Friday. Freak Verb Nation, that's Matt Catling from IO Radio, is putting on 93 Million Miles from the Sun. GABODELemondaze, who we're going to finish the show off with, and Bad Stone. That's at 7:30 at the Smokehouse this Friday. Also Friday, we've got British Rich presents Ratchet Rich, which is loads of really great hip hop and R&B going on at Venue 77 this Friday at 8 o'clock. Rai Shabby's playing. Just get down. Native James. It's going to be a good gig. It's a good lineup for that one. We've also got the Three Wise Monkeys live in Colchester. That's Friday, presenting Reckless EP launch. They're from Brighton, I believe. But that's featuring Tundra, Boat Rich, and the band that we played earlier, Abode. So if you like a bit of your pop punk and alt rock, get out to that one on Friday. Pardon me, excuse me, I do apologise. February 8th, we've got Slow King. We played on him last week.
Yes.
Jacob. Last guests, Thomas Swarman and Finn Doherty. It's at John Peel Centre for Creative Arts. That's 7:30 this Friday. So if you like your slow, chill step kind of stuff, check down to that one. There's a lot of atmospherics going for that one. February 9th, Saturday, Die Kerr. I thought it was Die Kerr. I thought it was a German thing. Killer Hertz. Good name, right?
Was that a robot from Robot Wars?
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh crikey, I've forgotten. Somebody has abbreviated the name, but I can't remember what it actually was. Killer Corp and Devoted Defiance. They are playing at the Smokehouse this Saturday, February 9th. Also Saturday, The Stupids, The Natterers, and Casual Nausea. Good local hardcore punk playing at the Steamboat on Saturday.
Nice.
That'll be messy. Saturday night. That'll be awesome. Also, Sounds on Sunday at the Steamboat. I believe Jade Magine is going to be playing Sunday afternoon at the Steamboat, so that'll be quite a good one, that one.
Yeah, sweet. I've got a few things here. We've got a few open mic nights. Blue Bus Tour are doing an originals only open mic night tomorrow night.
Where's that?
In Ipswich. I'll try and find the event. Is at... Oh, apparently it's not. It's the Barge in Woodbridge.
Oh, okay.
Don't know the place, but
Might
check
be
it
his
out.
House.
Yeah, potentially. We've also got Arlington's open mic night. It's a new one that Max Wildwood is running on Wednesday. And that's at Arlington's. Another thing on Wednesday in Leiston, Bayfield Booth are playing with special guest Drew Young, who I was chilling with last night, which was great fun. They've got a whole 7-piece band, and they're going to be at the Leiston Film Theatre.
Very cool.
So if you can make it along to that, it's going to be a night of great entertainment. It'll be awesome.
They're all very talented musicians and very talented songwriters. Nice one, mate. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week, Harley. Well, I'll see you on Wednesday, because I'm going to be off to Chinese Checkers now, and you're going to Rock Project.
Yeah, boy.
Fill their heads with some musical awesomeness.
Yes, I will do that, my best of it. I won't fill them with grammar.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff. Find us on iTunes. Give us a review. Why don't you? This track is awesome. Really kind of like My Bloody Valentine, shoegazy kind of stuff. This is called Liquid Rush by Lemondaze. Check it out.